Catherine, what are your impressions here today?
I suppose I've been very, very impressed. I suppose one thing that's really impressed me is the fact, yes, we have I suppose Irish players that have come from Ireland over here, but the one thing that's really struck me has been the amount of players that actually have no connection to Ireland or from the various cities where they have the teams here, Berlin, Dresden, all over the place. And that's really what's impressed me, the fact that it just proves that Camogie and Hurling are games that anybody can play.
There's people asking me all week, Germany, hurling, camogie. Have you been able to explain that? Have you found out why?
I think it's because that what's happened is that there's been a small cohort maybe of Irish people that have come over. People like Diarmuid Kelly, I think he nearly makes you feel guilty, the passion that he's got. You'd love to, you just makes you want to actually go out and play yourself. I think people like him have suddenly brought the game, shown that the game can be played by anybody, and have been so welcoming of everybody to come and be part of the game of the camogie and the game of hurling. And I think that passion translates. It's very hard to say no to Diarmuid when he's talking to you. You want to actually help him out. You want to do the best you can. So I think what's happened is that while it's a game that we think of as being Irish, as being kind of just our game, it actually proves that actually no, it's a game actually for everybody, and it's nobody's game really, but it's just a matter of actually introducing everybody to play it. And it's, as I said, it's fantastic to see players from overseas, European players, and also on the Dresden team, there's players from not just Europe, there's players that are coming from all over the world. There's two players from Vancouver, there's a player from Colombia, India. So it just proves that hurling, camogie, they translate into anybody's language, and you can actually play it. And it's about enjoying a game, playing a game at the level that you can play it at, and playing a game that keeps you healthy and has that nice social element to it. So there's some things I think we could learn, to bring back home with us as well, around the fact that we can see how well hurling and camogie has fit together, and how it translates, how they actually work together as one unit. So there's some things that we can learn ourselves out of that. Something unity can make us stronger while we retain our own identity and our own game.
Oh, it's really cool to be here because it's my first tournament, so I'm really nervous, and actually I'm still nervous to play, but it's a lot of fun, so I really enjoyed.
And as somebody from Dresden, what does it mean for the Irish game to come over here to such a great tournament?
I think it means a lot that so many people come here to play hurling or camogie, so I think it's a good advertisement for Dresden, so many people come here and see what's going on here, and also for the sport events, it's cool.
And can I ask you about your family in Dresden? And you've said to them what you're doing here today. What do they think of this?
Oh, my parents came here to see me playing. I'm not sure whether they understood the game, but I think they have fun to see all the action, what's going on here, so it's cool.
It's an absolutely fantastic day here in the finals. We have 5 camogie teams, which is an increase from last year. So it suggests that camogie is improving in Europe again. I mean, you can see to have such good players from the different countries and clubs. And of course people want to either continue playing camogie if they're from home, or completely pick it up new, like myself and Jelena, or many other girls of all different nationalities.
So one of you from Kerry, one of you from Serbia, and as somebody famously said, neither a camogie stronghold, but today you're well into it here in Germany.
Yeah, myself and Aisling are actually the two backs for Belgian GA, so we're the stronghold in the back there. I started playing camogie in 2010 with Belgian GA, and it has been a fantastic experience, and playing with players who never played before, who are from Ireland, so it gives you a lot of confidence, and it gets you more excited, to learn next to the people who own the sport.
Experienced players.
Yeah.
And Aisling, camogie is on the rise by the looks of it, and in this part of the world.
Yes, because the German team now, they have an amalgamated team of girls from 5 different clubs in Germany. So that was an aim at last year's European Board Convention to try and get an amalgamated German team. So we've achieved that this year, which is fantastic. Commitment from the girls as well, because Germany, as we know, is so big. And we also have today an amalgamated Swiss team, girls from Zurich and Basel. So, it improves the day so much, going from a 3-team day to 5 teams.
Grania, European champions, Belgium, how does that feel?
Feels great, yeah. It was touch and go there for a while, because this is our 5th tournament this season, and it came down to the 5th final, so that was good. In the previous seasons it's kind of been wrapped up early enough, and we've only had 3 tournaments, so it was great that it really came down to the line today.
And what does it mean to be camogie champions of Europe and to win it here in Germany, of all places?
Yeah, it was great, and it's especially good for German hurling as well, because this is the first time they've had a camogie team. so that the Camogie competition this year has been much more competitive, and it's just great, and especially to win the championships on the day we won the final here it's great. It's wonderful.
Would you say, without being too sort of cliched about it, that Camogie is the winner today? You've won, but the game has won today.
Yeah, sure. Without being too cliche, there was some really good Camogie on display today, and we were surprised by there was Zurich field today. We didn't know, we've never played them in tournament before in the last couple of seasons, as far as I know. They came down and they made it to the final. It was a really good game in the final. There was some lovely Camogie played. Same with Germany, Holland, Luxembourg. And European Camogie is really, we work really well as a unit. So you saw Holland got hit with injuries. They couldn't field anymore, but rather than drop out, they just joined together with Lux, and that wasn't an issue. And all we had to do was rejig the draw, and Lux and Holland were just happy to get a few good games. I mean, that's what it is. And it is a big deal that we come all the way to Dresden for these championships. I mean, people want to play as much Camogie as they can, so it was just great for everyone today.
How honoured were you to have not just the Camogie president, but also the Camogie director general here, and what do you think that might do for the future of that game here?
It's really incredible that they took the time out and came over to be here and see what is actually happening with the Camogie. The last couple of years it was pretty tough trying to get teams out. Sometimes there was only 2, maybe 3 teams coming. Now we have 5 teams coming. We've got a team in Germany. We decided to amalgamate all the clubs to have a Camogie team here. They're competing at a high level with the Belgium and the Holland ladies. So we've got 3-4 girls here in Dresden, and we're trying to develop that as well. And every other club in Germany and indeed Europe is trying to do the same. But it's important to keep getting the word out, keep finding players, and keep promoting the sport in a local level among expats and non-Irish players.
And just finally, it's not about the standard here this weekend, it's about the taking part. It really is now. There is some passion, as we can hear in the pitch beside us here, but it's mainly about the development of Camogie.
Yes, it is, yeah, and I think that's one of the important factors, I suppose, that you see here in the European game. The fact that there are players that, as I've said already, that don't have a connection to Ireland, and they want to be part of it. And I suppose, and that is the natural, I suppose, movement that you want to go with, because if you want to make a game sustainable, if you want to, any sport or anything that you want to get involved in, it's about actually getting the people who are actually from the area, the locals, involved. And I think we've seen that, like most of the teams that I've seen here today, practically all of them, bar the team that's over for a visit just from Dublin. But other than that, practically the majority of the teams that I've come across actually have been predominantly from the people from that location, from that city. So I think that's why I think that the game has grown so well here in Europe. And I think we've there's a lot that can be learned from across the world when they look at Europe and see what's happening. So I think that's the strength of the European game. And I think as long as that happens and as long as that continues to foster, I think it'll grow from strength to strength.
It's a long way from Kilkenny to Dresden, or maybe it's not these days.
Not quite, no, not quite. But I think the funny thing about it is that one of the first people that I met here today was a girl called Sinead Welch. And actually, Sinead is from my own club, and I coached her when she was a kid, so I didn't even know she was here. Actually, she's actually working in Switzerland at the moment. So it was great to see her. She's playing with Zurich, so she's just arrived there 8 weeks ago, and I haven't seen Sinead for a couple of years. And for that to be one of the first people, and again, I just mentioned to her, that you've taken it up, and she said, yeah, she said because it was a way to get to meet people, to fit into new city, new job. So it was great to see her. Mind you, she was a goalie. She was playing in the middle of the field, so I still rested that I might have been right when I was coaching her, that maybe she should, the goal place is her place. But as I said, we've seen Ovidia playing, and she's probably lost her place in the goal there. But yeah, so it's great. It's great to see it. It's great to see players not just from home here, but I think most importantly for me, the greatest joy has been to see players actually that have no connection to Ireland, have never maybe been to Ireland, until maybe some of them might have been this year with the World Games, and to see them play Camogie with a passion, the very, very same as what I've seen anywhere in the world.